Hi, I probably know what you're thinking. Who is this scruffy-haired kid, and what did he do with Jay and Steph? It's okay. My name's Thomas Hundal, and this is a modern motoring tech tip. It's no secret that gas prices are through the roof these days. I mean, $1.95 to $2 a liter for regular? Come on, that's ridiculous. And hey, everybody's looking to save some gas right now. So, if you drive a car made in the past 10 years, you may have a button on your dashboard that says Eco, or maybe it has a leaf, or maybe it's green, something like that. And you may be wondering, okay, well, Eco, that's got to save fuel, right? But how does it work? More importantly, does it actually make a difference? Now, let's answer the first part of that question. Basically, every car made within the past 10 years or so uses a drive-by-wire throttle system. What do I mean by that? Well, back in the olden days, cars would use a cable running through the firewall from the accelerator pedal to the throttle body itself. You step on the throttle, the cable pulls back, it opens up the throttle body, and once that throttle body is open, you have more air coming into the engine and you can accelerate. Now, since the 1990s or so, I mean, BMW was the first manufacturer to bring out drive-by-wire with the E32 Generation 7 series. And you may be wondering, okay, well, what does drive-by-wire actually do? Well, all it does is your gas pedal is now a potentiometer. It, measures how far you have that pedal down, sends a signal to the ECU. The ECU then sends a signal to an electronic actuator on the throttle body, which then cracks open the throttle plate. Now, there are some upsides to this. It's great for cold idling. The ECU is smart, and it takes in all the environmental information from temperature sensors, both external temperature sensors and internal temperature sensors, like the coolant temperature sensor. So, not only do you have a wider variety of idle speeds that are more precise and less complex than from an idle air control valve like you got in an old school car, you also have a cool ability to tune the relationship between pressing on that pedal and opening up that throttle plate. Now let's drop some charts. Right? Who doesn't like a good chart? So, assuming a perfectly linear system, you end up with a throttle curve something like this. You start at idle, and as you press on the pedal, it linearly opens up the throttle plate. Now, sport mode works a little bit differently. When you hit that sport button, if your car is so equipped, the throttle mapping changes to be more aggressive. Unless you're driving something like an E60 V10 BMW M5 or a Hellcat with a red key, a special sport function usually doesn't really add more horsepower. I think the cheapest car I can think of that does that is the Fiat 500 Abarth, which when you punch that sport button, takes the power from 135 or so all the way up to 160. With most cars, sport mode works like this. You have a very steep ramp on the throttle curve and then a long maintenance at wide open throttle. Now, it's great for, off the jump feel, but it's not linear. It's not the most controllable. It just tricks you into thinking your car is quicker because less input on the throttle means more fast. Now, eco mode, picture that curve, but kind of inverted. Let's see here. Draw this out. You end up with something like this. It's more gentle on the low end of the pedal. Light throttle application, especially when we compare it to a normal linear throttle map right here. And basically, the principle behind eco mode is that it helps you maintain nice, tight throttle control on the low end of the pedal. Maybe you're wearing some heavy shoes, your throttle control isn't the best. It just helps smooth out that low end, that cruising end, for better fuel economy. The big question now is, does eco mode actually work? I had the opportunity to test the new 2022 Nissan Sentra a few weeks ago, and during my testing period, I ran a little bit of eco mode testing. Why not? It's the perfect vehicle for this. It's a standard gasoline-powered, non-hybrid compact car with a continuously variable automatic transmission, which is indicative of a lot of cars over the past 10 years. You know, you've got Honda Civics, naturally aspirated engine, CVT, you've got newer Corollas, you've got Subaru Legacies, you've got basically every Nissan. You know, the list just goes on and on and on. So no fancy hybridization to mess with things. You just have a nice, clean baseline that's relatively indicative of the vehicles that Canadians mostly drive. So what I did is I set up a drive loop. It was 55% city, 45% highway. Now, that is a slightly higher highway mix than some may see, but it's largely indicative of people who commute in greater metropolitan areas, or if you're out in the country and have nice high-speed roads. It's not too far out of the question. In fact, it's a fairly standard blend. More importantly, the runs were done under identical weather conditions and near identical traffic conditions. And the loop was a return loop, so difference in wind direction and difference in road incline was largely countered out. Downhill on the way out, uphill on the way back. Evens out. And, you know, I did this 3 times. I did this once driving, you know, normally, the sort of confident, law-abiding driving that you would see, you know, when you're in your daily commute. Second method was being gentle. You know, just accelerate slowly, brake slowly, look far down the road, anticipate traffic ahead, and just stick to the right lane. The third one was eco mode, just coaching me along, aiding that nice, low throttle control, and the results were really quite interesting. Now, driving like a normal, confident driver, you know, not being a slow Sunday driver, I netted a round-trip run of 8.4 liters per 100 kilometers. Not bad at all. When I took things gently, that improved significantly, and to 7.8 liters per 100. With a liter of fuel being more or less $2, that saves you $1 every 100 kilometers. That's not bad. Now the big eyebrow raiser was eco mode, okay? In eco mode, I achieved 7.8 liters per 100 kilometers, exactly the same as driving gently. So, what have we learned here? If you have a traditional gasoline-powered car and you have good control on the pedal, you know, nice and gentle, like there's eggshells under it, you can just achieve the same fuel economy in eco mode as you can just by driving gently. Now, this is awesome news for anybody with an older car that doesn't happen to have eco mode. You can just drive gently and still achieve great fuel economy. So, eco mode, largely a bust. But if you just look far down the road, take it easy, go gentle on the throttle pedal and gentle on the brakes, and coast, because coasting is a great way to save fuel on a modern fuel-injected car because your injectors are shut off if you're just coasting to a stop at a light, then you can achieve some pretty impressive fuel economy gains. But eco mode, aside from helping you to drive gently, doesn't really increase fuel economy. Anyway, that's it for this modern motoring tech tip. If you liked what you saw, feel free to give a like or smash that subscribe button, or leave a comment. If you didn't like what you saw, feel free to hit that thumbs down or leave a comment. You know, let us know what we can improve on. I hope you're having a great day. Once again, my name's Thomas Hundal from Modern Motoring. Take care.